Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Musings and Music Show on Vosaworld Radio. Thank you for always being there. Those of you that listen on the radio, those of you that watch on YouTube, it's another edition of the show coming up. And I have a guest with me. I have known her for quite a bit. And in that time, she has changed portfolios or credentials, if I can say, quite a bit, moving up, diversifying a lot of different things. And you're going to find out if you stay tuned, if you stay watching, what hat or what head tie she's wearing this time around. I'm going to ask her to go ahead and introduce herself to you all. How would she describe herself in a nutshell? Who are the guests listening to or watching today?
Yeah, so hello everybody. So my name is Patience Fielding. Professionally, I'm known as Dr. Patience Fielding. So I'm a teacher, educator, international development specialist, and now I'm a beginning farmer.
Wow. That is, you just said it all in one breath like that. I'm sure people who are listening are going, huh?
I know.
We had educator, we had all of that. In fact, I did my little homework as usual. I do have my little album that I have there, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a few of the hats I have seen her wear, some of which she mentioned before she got to this farmer thing. You heard her correctly, farmer. And this is somebody who is not coming to us from Cameroon, where you think, okay, maybe she's talking about some plains somewhere out there in Cameroon. Where are you located? Where are you located? This farming thing, where is this happening?
So my farm is called the ESTHER Manor Farm, and it's located in Beaver Dam in Virginia, Central Virginia, I think 40 minutes off of Richmond. Richmond is the capital of Virginia. So we're in a little rural area in Beaver Dam, and we're growing greens. We're growing jamanjama, water leaf, bitter leaf, pumpkin, corn, peppers, kene, cuckoo leaf, what else? Greens, and chia.
Wow. You're listing all of those things, and I'm sure people are going, okay, because many of us who have homes with a little patch of land behind the house, you do the front, you put your flowers and everything, and the back there, you plant a few stems of something. So is that what we're talking about?
Not quite. In fact, I really thought through this farmer thing, and it happened. I mean, I started thinking in 2020 during the pandemic. So prior to the pandemic, I would travel a lot for work, and I would travel to different countries where my projects are and give advice or train or do strategic planning, depending on what was required of me. But I remember my last trip out was in 2019. In November, I was in Moscow, feeding homeless people. We're feeding people in the snow. It was really cold. It was a rewarding experience because you see people who line up just for a bowl of soup and bread, and you have to do that and go back to a warm hotel room. And I remember coming back from that trip and just thinking about the world and thinking I was so exhausted from that trip. And I said, you know what? There's so much to do in this world, but I think I could be doing something closer to my people. It's true, I've been all over the world working on different projects in Southeast Asia, in India, in Nepal, South America, you name it. But it's about time. Maybe I need to bring all of this and really start serving my people, because we also have our needs, and oftentimes we're at the very bottom in terms of who looks after us. So maybe I need to join my skill, my time, my passion to serve my people. And so it's interesting how when you give your request, the universe gives you a space. And during the pandemic 2020, we're home. Again, I did not travel for 18 months. In fact, I haven't been on a plane. I mean, in terms of work.
Traveled as much as you did before? As
much as I did. So we're home for 18 months, and everybody was figuring out what to do. I mean, the world was a scary place, and it was a new virus. I mean, and we did not know what was happening. The adults who are used to giving solutions, all of us were very clueless, and that's why I began to think, how can I be of use? What can I do? And again, we're looking at the same time, it was in 2020 where we had the racial tensions in the US. And for most of us in Africa, for most of us Africans, we come to the United States not really understanding the depth of those racial inequalities. We
Right.
see our education protects us. We say, oh, if I go to this school, I stay in this neighborhood. If I stay out of police way, I'm going to be safe. But 2020 really opened up our eyes to say, it doesn't matter where you stay, what kind of degree you have, or you are a Black person. And what does that mean? And so it was a scary time, especially as parents, because whose job is to protect your children, to see what I'm like, why did I bring my kids from Africa? What did I bring them into? But it was too late. And so I began to think, what exactly can I do? At that time also, I was trying to help my kids through college. The college process is a different beast.
Mm.
And for people who haven't been, I'm an educator, it was a challenge for me. And I thought, what about those who do not know the system? How challenging could it be? And so I thought to open up an initiative to be a mentoring space, to help college-bound kids, networking for them to network with each other to see how it's good. But it didn't quite take off. It's interesting when you're not aligned. When you're not aligned with your purpose. And so I just prayed for more. And at the time we're moving, and I said, God, take me to this place where this is what we need. We want land, we're not going to a nice house. And we prayed and we prayed. And it's interesting, we looked around in Maryland, nothing nearby. And
because Maryland is where you were when all of this was happening.
Yes, well, what was happening, because and then we just asked the real to go out south, and we went to this place. In a nutshell, so she showed us this place. It was out in the middle of nowhere. We came to visit. I remember the first day we were visiting. It's like, whoa! I mean, the roads, country back roads, no lights. I mean, so these little houses. I mean, and no neighbors. I'm like, where are we going? But we fell in love with the place, and it's interesting because lately I've been really trying to align, who am I? Who am I as a person? So it's not just doing things for the sake of it, but really aligning myself to my ancestors, to my creator, to say, who am I and what do you want me to do? Right. Because oftentimes, God is leading us, but we're wanting to go our own way and it doesn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
But
you
this
have
time,
your whole agenda mapped out.
Exactly.
And you say, okay, yes, where you need to sign your name here. I have prepared the thing. Just put your signature here and help me along the way, as opposed to bringing an empty paper slate and say, you write on it and let me sign my own name onto the thing and you lead and I'll follow.
Absolutely. And so I decided to be obedient because in order to do work, because we all come into this space with different skills and expertise and different, we are all unique. So what is that uniqueness that God created for me? And I prayed really hard. I called also my ancestors because I said, I'm taking my family to this space. You need to guide me. And I would know from the process. And the process was so seamless and so easy. We knew exactly this was the space. So we got to know, in fact, it's in the middle of nowhere when you come to visit, but our neighbors surprisingly were very helpful. These are people that you see on TV and run away. But they would come in, they make sure that if we needed errands to run, if we needed, they were there for us. We were so different.
There's so many lessons to unpack from what you're saying there.
So many lessons.
Ooh, I don't even know where to start.
In fact, when I went to my own neighborhood, we lived in Potomac, and I went to my church then, and they told me, where are you? And I told them where I'm now living. They said, Patience, you're crazy. And these are white people who are telling me I'm crazy to move out in here. But I told them, and I'm saying, we have these misconceptions about people that when you get to know people, you get to know their humanness. We're all the same. We want the same things for our families.
And that is working both ways.
Absolutely.
You getting to see people who, if you had seen them, as you say, you think it's about them. And then even, I'm sure, double for them looking at you. What they have heard about Africa.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. So when we came back, there's one lady I call Auntie Barbara. She's the whitest of the white women. I call her Auntie. I say, because in African tradition, when they call you Auntie, it means you are that one person that you go to for all. So anything that I need, I go to her first, and she's right there. It doesn't matter. She's right there helping, ask questions and just putting herself out for us. And I say, you are now Auntie, because that in African tradition, that's who you are. And she said, one day she said, oh, Patience, you're very different. I'm like, no, if you had heard about an African, would you have thought about me? She said, no, but you're different. And I know I'm not different. There are so many like me, but what you see from the media. And so with this farming space, I wanted to create a space for intercultural connectedness. We were bringing our food, our culture, our music, our traditions, and sharing in America. America is a country of immigrants.
Right.
It's about time, because when they think Africa, they're thinking either disease or poverty or war.
Yeah.
It's about time we
There's
begin.
the other one now coming because of what we hear about it.
Absolutely.
But
so now I want us
to be very negative.
Negative. So I want them to begin to see Africa in all its glory and magnificence. Look at us Africans. We're proud people, from our dress to our language to how we carry ourselves. We're proud people, but we need to bring that pride and weave that into the fabric of America, a country of immigrants. So that when we talk about food, we go to the store, we find a place we can go pick it up. We find a place we can congregate and eat and celebrate, just like Americans. I mean, why wouldn't we have our own foods when this is now home for most of us, especially looking at what's going back? So how do we begin to create a space that is both common, it's a blend and a fusion of our cultures and our ways and our rich traditions? I invited my neighbors once just to thank them because they were so helpful to us when we moved, and just because you guys have been so helpful. We had a meal for them. My husband made pepper soup. Oh, they enjoyed that pepper soup. And it was just so interesting how they were just, we just sat around like old friends. But if you had seen it, but you would never have thought.
You never have guessed.
So I mean,
you see those two sets of people under the same roof.
Yeah. So with this farm, I'm thinking, yes. So with this farm, I want to do a broader outreach. So it's not just a little patch of land. We have about 10 acres. We started off with, we wanted to start. Yeah, we wanted to start with 2, but it was overwhelming. So we started with 1, and it was just try and error. It's our first year to see what grows. The soil is different, the weather pattern is different, the composition is different. So what is this? How is it going to fare in this climate? But again, when you do things that God is calling you, things fall into place.
That's what they call a leap of faith, a giant leap of faith.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
See, this country, most of us do a job. You're looking for job security. You want your pension because people are living paycheck to paycheck. There's no room for error here. There's no room for failure because bills don't stop coming.
No, they don't stop.
Say, okay, while you're transitioning, we'll let it slide. Don't worry about the water, don't worry about the power. Just don't worry about your cell phone coverage. When you're good and you're standing back on your feet, come back and see us. You can pay them. No. The bills keep coming. You continue to live, which is why most people are scared to switch to anything because you cannot even begin to imagine it. So that it must be a huge leap of faith. And you've already even preempted a whole ton of other questions I was going to ask you, because you mentioned about your family moving with you, being on the same page. I can imagine the catastrophe. If you come and tell your husband, who is listening, and you say something about farm, jama, like, what are you drinking? What are you snorting? Who has tied you in the village over there and made your sense don't come out?
I know.
So it has to be a thing where people are on the same page. They're actually involved, because there's even 2 people, how this used to tell us back in the day, the hippie culture. 2 people, they have no kids, just go do your hippie thing.
I know.
Exactly. I know. Go to Woodstock and get crazy. But you have children. You have children who have to go to school, so you cannot afford to just do a clean, clear, like that. You have to have a thing, because I'm looking at you. I started saying it and then stopped. I don't know what distracted me. Let me go and actually find that album if I can find it and see. Look, I know what I should do. Give it a second here. Come on down, pick out that album right here, and let me show our viewers the last time that I kind of heard about you and was following along. What your portfolio looked like then, so they can appreciate the shift. Okay, so that's the album right here. I remember covering this.
Craziness.
I remember covering this. Can you see? What year was this? That actually look. This was like
2013.
Yes, 2013. June. I just checked and looked at the corner there because the date is on. There's the date stamp. So this is June 2013. what was happening here, you were
Yeah.
graduating, you can see the 3 stripes right there, this Dr. Fielding,
Yeah.
graduating from the University
Yeah.
of California, Berkeley, which is no
Yeah.
mean school.
Mhm.
And that's where you got that educator's degree thing, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
then here you
takes me
are
back.
with none other than the first lady of this country, with
I
Jill
know, I
Biden.
know, right? Joe Biden. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And then
Yes,
let's see. This is now where you're talking about the trips that you used to make before
yes,
COVID came
yes,
along.
to yes, to India. And they would make giant posters of me. I would be so embarrassed.
I wonder whether the news has reached them yet that that person has become a farmer.
No,
There
no,
you are
no.
with the ladies. You see, but you've always been community
Yes,
oriented. That's no doubt about it. But even
yes,
education is
yes.
for the community. And yeah, I see them with a bunch
Yeah.
of sewing machines and stuff
Mm-hmm.
there, helping to empower women. That's
Yeah.
that's you right there.
Yeah, that's
Those
me in my sari.
people are seeing you
Oh
sitting
yes,
down.
that was the trip. Yes,
Right. So
yes, with the
people are seeing
women.
you sitting
And
down there now, they have no clue. But for those who know you, you are one tall.
I know, that's me. I know that's me in the middle with the women. Oh, those are some fun times. Yeah, yeah. Uh-oh, you're frozen.
This is an event coming up in October. Can you tell us a little bit about it? An event coming up on October 29th, it says.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you see
So this,
flyer?
I can see that, yeah. So this event is, we have reached our first week. So we're now rounding up our harvest. In fact, yeah, we're not, and this year has been really successful, especially given the fact that I knew nothing going into farming. It was just a leap of faith, and I would just call on God, call on my ancestors, and you'll see the farm, Esther Manor farm. Esther is my mother, and my mother was a great.
Why is it called Esther? Yes.
So she was a teacher, she was a community development specialist, and she, in fact, it's so interesting that as I was moving, I went through some letters and I saw how she was writing letters to the SDU advocating for some ladies of CDC who were arrested for picking palm nuts from the palm tree, and it's so interesting how our is aligned with my work. And it was during the pandemic, again, thinking about what is happening. And I went to the Bible, and the book of Esther, for such a time as this, speak to me. It's like, what should we be doing for such a time as this? It's such a time as this where there's food shortage, where there's the climate change, where there's racial unrest. What should we be doing to respond? And so this farm is in response. And why do I do that? Because I believe I'm very connected to my ancestors, my mother and father who passed away, unfortunately. But my mother and father, they believed in me so much. They thought I could do anything. And my mother, and I could put this farm in her name because she was that kind of person who worked with communities and helped communities. And every day, I would call out her name for guidance. And I said, I would speak out. My window overlooks the farm, and I'll say, Mommy, this is your farm. I know you will guide me. And I'll tell my dad, Papa, this is your wife's farm. You need to support me. And I call my grandmother, Big Mommy, they are picking his farm this. And all of the things that we used to talk about growing up, I asked them for those blessings and the guidance. And it's interesting how help came to me. I hired one guy who was very knowledgeable in our vegetables. He helped me with the planting and the seed, and then he left. Seasonal workers, people who come in, someone gave me seed money. I mean, people just came in at the right time to just help this dream. And so
everything
it became
just aligned itself really well.
It became so successful. And so this one year, it's like a Thanksgiving, a thank you to our patrons, a showcasing of our foods, because I'm inviting members of the community here in Hanover County, my local government, my office from my congressperson office, for them to see what we're doing.
What is it that you're doing with the land?
Yes, with the land. And also, hopefully, also inviting members of the Cameroon government. I mean, this is what we're doing. That's what they're supposed to be doing in terms of showcasing Cameroon in all its brilliance. So this dinner is a time to come out. We're going to have food, music, cultural displays and what we do best. And it's just a neat group. I mean, and we hope to continue doing this series where we're just inviting people, and because for them to come experience African food. I mean, reached out to the economic development, and they were so excited. These were people who were mostly from the South, and when they came to visit, because they came to see how we can work together in the future, and they said when they looked around, the Southern food is African food. I mean, these are white people telling us the connection between our food and Southern food, and we have to begin to have the conversation. Yes, soul food, yeah, is from Africa. And so begin to show the African and African culture, African food, African music, in a way, how we do festivals in Cameroon. So that's the whole idea. And also
they're going to get to see the
go ahead.
connectedness, because when we get together like that as people and interact, we find out that we are much more similar than we are different.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. And even just trying to teach people that different does not mean bad. It's just different from what you're used to.
Yeah.
It's just another way of life. It's not, one is not bad, one is not good. One is not superior to another culture simply because that's what you're used to. They are just people, as God created them, diverse. It's just understanding diversity. These days, they make us watch modules before school starts. Watch the module to try to understand. You can watch all of those things, those little videos, those little automated robotic things. This is how to live it out, what you're doing there. This is how to live it out.
Absolutely.
Come and sit down there and go on, please.
In fact, I was talking to one lady. So so one of the things that I did, because again, I wanted to really approach this farm, not just as a farm where I'm good, but also have a business in mind. Because again, if it has to generate income and self-sustain, you have to have a business plan, all of those things that is not very, it's not fun to think about, but I had to think about those things. And so I connected with my small business administration, and I was given a mentor, and it's very interesting. So when I told them that I'm doing this small dinner, it's very small because we're looking at just 40 people. And she said, no, and the price tag per person is $100. She said, why would I pay $100? I said, let me tell you something. I'm like, I'm doing something that is very unique. You have African produce in America on the line. You have the eating produce from the farm in a setting and enjoying the music and the ambience. I'm like, it doesn't exist in America, and it deserves that price. And I'm going to find people who come. I say, it's about time we start giving the worth to African produce, just like our Western counterparts, because oftentimes look at Africa, it's like they're looking down.
This country's neighbor to the south. You have whole restaurants now where they're selling quesadillas.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the name. Quesadilla is not a English word. Everybody knows tacos. They have become a household name.
Exactly.
How? Because the people have come here and said, this is what we eat. We don't apologize for it. We're not embarrassed for it. That's just what we eat. And it has become commercialized, and it's a household name. We can very easily get to that point too. But it starts by doing things like that. First of all, I would have to use the word decolonizing our own minds and things, because we're taught to think, hey, you eat a chop na rice. Okay, when Christmas comes, forget food, you don't want to say that's what you're eating. You say we eat rice and stew. Or now you're talking about noodles or pasta. And you don't want to say, when your mother packs your lunch bag and puts something in there that is spicy, you're like, you don't want to go and even open that bag and eat it in school because you're bothered that they're going to laugh at you that you brought food. You want to eat something that is more like what is made out here. In other words, you don't bother about the smells of your pasta that are filtering into the hallway. I need to apologize for my okra soup that I heated up to the office, and everybody's like, what is that? Okay, it's not familiar. It's not familiar to you. It's familiar to my own nose.
I know.
Hey, your own thing too is a little different. But if we don't do that and have to keep apologizing for the things that we do, for habits that we do that are not wrong in any way, they're just different from what you're used to, then we'll never get anywhere asserting our own selves. Not saying what we have is better than anybody else's, but saying it's on par with what you're doing. It's just our own kind of food. And if I talk about eating healthy, it doesn't get better than that.
Absolutely.
Where the people who come to that dinner of yours can see, this is the land right out here where it was planted. We got it out of here. It has gone. I think you said on that flyer, you're saying, from farm to table.
Yes.
That's it. Not what we
Yes.
are buying in the store that has gone from
No,
farm
no
to
middleman.
machine.
No
The machine has
middleman.
got its own lasbele on it, like there. Packed preservatives, packed this and that in there. By the
Yes.
time you're eating it along with a lot of future problems down the
I
road
know.
in it.
Mhm.
And I think this is as good a time as any for people to see a few pictures of what we're talking about, because you are mentioning hectares. As I
Okay.
said, most of us who do any little bit of planting, once in a while you see on the WhatsApp group somebody is saying, I have what I leave for sale. They have a few bundles. And they actually even say in the WhatsApp message, press come, press serve. Because if you don't come like now when you've seen the thing, by the time you get in your car and
Time is gone.
supply is gone. That's not what we're talking about right here. Let me go back to that album if I can find it real quick and go on from there. Am I sharing? I would like to go back to this.
Yeah, you're sharing.
And so looks like this was the very beginning. What do you see my screen? What I'm sharing here?
Yes, I have the screen, but it's still with the event. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was the very beginning. Wow.
Yeah, they just say trees like what you'd see at the back of somebody's yard there, that little bit. So now I see that the it's not grass anymore. I see earth. Yeah. So what's going on here? What's this person doing?
What's going on here? It's so interesting. So this is the guy to the left is Son, is a Cameroonian. To the left, I said who came to help us. In fact, Sunday Mofo, he's Mofo's son.
Okay.
And he came and he grows. I mean, he's an expert in Jama and all the other making beds and African farm. And so he came to help us to teach us how to do the Jama. And the guy to your right is Jeff's African American, and Jeff was so excited. So excited to be part of the process. So Jeff is a army veteran who just does work just to keep himself busy because he has his pension. But I remember the first time he came to this, when we picked him up, because we went to a day laborer place to get him. And when he came, he sat on the porch for like some good 5 minutes, and he said, "You know what? This place belonged to slave owners,
Let me stop
and
the
you
share for a
own
little
it."
bit so we can see your face for a little bit. So you're saying he said this place, that land where you're on?
Yeah, it was belonged to slave owners, and you own it. And he was so proud. He just said, "I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you." And he was so excited to plant the cocoyams. He was digging and putting the cocoyams, and now the cocoyams are, I mean, they've sprouted. But yeah, those are the people, some of the people who helped us. And he would come in ever so often just to help us, depending on the tasks that we had at hand: planting, weeding, seeding.
I am still talking about this mind shifting. I'm going to go right back to that picture, because you see, this is the kind of picture where you see how even back home, if your person has come on out to America, oh, this is not the picture you want to send back home.
I know.
They will organize their cry die at home if you say, because other people are sending pictures back there with a Rolls Royce, with I don't know what else, in some whatever we consider dignified, whatever it is. What's happened with my own Peking? What is good? This is how you look like if you were in Tole or in Santa or in Bismarck somewhere there. And we have this mindset that says this is not successful.
And
whereas this is.
And that is one of the things that I really think that our education in a way did not really serve us well. Because, you know, my neighbors, if you think about it, they just have just what it takes. They are landowners, and most of them have owned their land for generations and generations. And they just do what it takes. Some of them is just high school certificate they have, and they go back and they work the land, and they're building on that well. But we are running away from the land because we're thinking it's a way. I remember when I started was farming, people say, "Really, you're going to do that?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to do farming. I'm going to get in the land," because that's the way to land ownership, is also a way to build wealth. So you see that, that's me.
That's you right there.
That's me pushing the trolley. I mean,
is this like the seeding?
No, it's a tiller. The tiller, we're tilling the land, getting them ready. So you till it to make it soft, and then make the bed. So I was working with Sunday on that, making the bed, loosen up the soil so that you can make beds.
Make it ready to make beds, what we call ridges and beds. To teach people to work with the land. Totally, because we are there. Most of us, our nails, our weave, makeup,
I know.
We're not seeing ourselves doing this kind of a thing. So you can be sitting down there really struggling and it's not even occur to you. That's why I wanted you to come on the show and that people can see other viable options.
Yeah.
We all don't have to be teachers like I am. We all don't have to be nurses, which is the other thing. We all don't have to be whatever it is. There's other options out there that can yield good things. Is this you there again? I'm trying to look. Yes, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
I see shovels there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was after. Yeah. There was also planting cocoyams.
Right.
It was after a huge rain, so I had to put on my rain.
And here comes the big old tractor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoveling things. I
mean,
it's something to behold, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to use a tractor because what happened was, since it's the first year of planting, we had to make sure we had good soil. So we had to buy compost. And what you see there is they dump the compost and they are using, so they're dumping the compost and spreading out the soil. So that's fertile soil that we had to buy because we're not sure.
Okay. You couldn't just
we had to buy soil and buy compost. So that's a pear tree. That's on the property, yeah.
The pear tree. So when Christmas comes along, I talk about a partridge in a pear tree.
That's the pear right there.
That's the pear right there.
Yeah.
And then what are these right here?
No, that's the pear tree. I think those are
the picture has changes for me sooner than it does for you.
Sorry. Oh, so those are blackberries. Yeah, blackberries. They come out every month. So we just harvest and we eat. It's really, I mean, it's something just to harvest from the farm and into
talking about organic, eating organic.
Yes.
You are blessed. And I see here, I don't know whether the picture has already changed.
We have grapes.
Grapes.
Yeah.
Which we go and buy. We only buy them in a plastic can. We don't see them.
I know.
Coming out of a branch like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we have grapes. Yeah.
Wow.
And they come out every season.
Yes. And what other plant is this that is right here? Can you see?
Oh, these are jute leaves. Kene.
Yes.
Kene, they are very nutritive, very nutritive. In fact, I think Sierra Leoneans, they eat them a lot in Sierra Leone and Nigeria. And I think Bamleke, it's like I've had a few clients from the Western province who have come and cleared out the land. So jute leaves, very nutritive.
We're talking about cocoa, the planting. I can see that right there. So if somebody is thinking of making actually using the cocoyams, taking the leaves.
I know. It's so interesting. So today I went to Red Apple to get peanuts and I saw cocoyam leaf, 3 cocoyam leaves for $11.
Look at that.
3 for 11. I'm like, seriously? And I have them all, 3 cocoyam leaves for $11.
Look at that.
Honestly.
Look at that.
I have them all over. Yeah.
Yes. So and then look, so I can see where the grapes are beyond there. And what is this we have right here growing? So
that's
yes.
Jama, we have, that's
and it's so green, the real green. Yes. Not anything that's looking funny, not anything that is engineered, it's just there.
Yeah.
You know you're eating straight off the earth. There you go. Straight off
from the farm,
healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering now, so people are looking at this, they're listening or they're watching, especially those who are watching and seeing all of this, they get it how? How far are you able to deliver this stuff? Are you
That's a good question.
Let me stop the share for now so we can actually listen to you better.
Yes. So for now, we really love, like, people know us, because when we just started, I mean, people did not know us. And so I would deliver to Washington, D.C. area. We had an intern doing a vacation that would just pack up, and you'll see, maybe you have one of those pictures, bags of vegetables, and they would deliver to homes. It was a way for the customers to know us and to know our products. But it was very labor intensive.
There you go. I think I see that. I see the back of the trunk of the car right there.
Yeah.
And then if I went down here, I think I can see this is green right here that you have on the table right there.
I don't see. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This is you have labeled them. This is jute leaves right there. So they right there in the little Ziploc bags.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Just 1 second. My battery. I can go rush quickly and get my battery. I'll join you in the sorry.
All right, no problem. I can go ahead and hit the pause button till we get back. All right, let's do this real quick. We took a little brief break there, and so she could go settle her battery issue, but she's right back with us. And we were talking before you left about the little packaging you were doing and going to do deliveries, as we're getting to know that you exist. So how has that progressed now that we know? It looks like they come more to you than you go out to them. Is that how it works now?
Yes, yes. So now, because they know us, and so especially because we have a good population of Cameroonians in the Richmond area and the surrounding areas, I didn't know that. And they have been coming to the farm to pick it up. And what is so interesting is that they have such an appreciation for food and for food workers. You know, often chance we just go to the supermarket and we just pick bundles of put in the basket and go, or neatly packaged. But picking that jama or that water leaf and bending down for hours, boy, it's such, you get an idea of what people go through who prepare your food. And it's also a good exercise. I mean, you sweat is like workout, you're sweating out. It's so interesting. I had a friend who was coming in to visit, and she said, I said, what should I make for you? I said, I'm going to make you for food. She said, oh, no. I said, no. When you go to that farm, you don't eat salad. You have to eat fufu and gari. I mean, something heavy, because it takes all your energy. And so it's a really good workout process. Yeah. So people come to harvest, they really appreciate it. And they really appreciate what it means to be a farmer. Because oftentimes when you deliver to their homes, they're just, okay, this is a bag. Okay, I have a bag. But coming to pick, and sometimes, you have to deal with insects and bugs and mosquitoes and allergies. Yeah. And so I advise people to wear long pants, because you don't know what, I mean, the vegetables know us already. It's interesting. Vegetables are just like people. So when they see, I mean, somebody's strange, you can have an attack of allergies. But we prefer those who come to the farm, because it's a connection you build, and you help them harvest. You're chatting about your family, you get to know each other, and it's just so rewarding. And they go home and they share with you their bowl of jama or eru picked or kene.
It'll just feel different.
It's just such a rewarding thing.
It'll feel different when you're eating that which you know. Because
yes,
we had little gardens at the back of our homes back in Cameroon. Yes, we went to the market, to Limbe market, and bought stuff. You went to wherever market, wherever you are. But it was different when you went to the back side.
Oh yeah.
And caught what was there and came, washed it from scratch, actually washed the earth out of it and started slicing it. You're eating that meat is different. Crunchy.
It's very different.
Very different from something that you just kind of bought. There is a connection there. There's a connection.
Yes. And I'm glad you say that, because, go ahead. I'm glad you said that, because it's so interesting that I pray over my plants and I talk to my plants. I mean, call me crazy when I talk to every gardener. That's what they say. Whenever I'm planting, I say a prayer that you come to a good place. Or when I'm sending out to the customers, I say, I pray you nourish them, you nourish their bodies, you nourish their souls, because it's the connection. You have to have good energy. And it's amazing how, it's interesting how connected we are. And this farming has made me rethink how connected we are to the universe. We are just one being, but we cannot live without plants and animals. And if we don't take care of the plants and animals, then we cannot even survive. And we take care of the plants and animals.
You have a better lesson about the ecosystem than that there. Yes. Because you're telling people you can just talk, but this is how you see it.
I know.
Live.
And plants are just like humans. If you don't water them and feed them, they die. You have to nurture them, take care of them. Just like humans, speak to them.
If you're talking about that Bible, you've quoted that Bible a number of times. The whole thing is full of analogies that are tied to farming, to the land. Jesus says, I am the vine and you are the branches. That is the connection.
Absolutely.
You just saw the vine right there and the branches. The parable of the sower, the parable is the sower went out and sowed, and some of it fell on fertile ground, some of it fell on rocky soil. The entire thing. Ruth, who went to pick wheat from Boaz's land, the farmers were planting. It is an agrarian society, and from the birds to the anything. That is that's the essence of us right there.
Absolutely.
So, unfortunately, we got to the point where we got the people who came and told us about, no offense to the typist. You're supposed to be the typist, you're the catechist, so you do not do anything now. In fact, the glory of the better man back in the days, there was one who was saying, well, his starched shirt, impeccable thing, not a speck of dust or earth on it. So
I know.
thinking, better man,
I
that person,
know.
even go farm. No, they
I
don't
know.
farm.
I
You are
know.
just there
I
forever
know.
reading and writing. That's what you should be doing.
I know,
Mhm.
which is such a warped, and and again, being in education, I'm sure you know that also because your background in education, being how we should be what should we be educating ourselves on? Because if you think about, I remember the first time we started planting, and I went to the backyard, I picked a bell pepper, and for the first time, I did not have to peel. You know how you peel that little sticker, and I'm
Yes,
like, oh my
yes.
goodness! I said, look at, we
The
have
sticker
land.
with the gum on it, you're pulling
Yes.
stretch. Yeah.
But for some reason, they told us we have to go to school and get where we just have land, we could work the land and be sustainable. We could live off the land. Look at all you need to do is plant a seed. In fact, somebody sent me seeds from Cameroon and egusi seeds, and 2 corn plants were in there. They found themselves by mistake. Now they have torn corn stalks. It's amazing, and that we're going to harvest. Seeds they sprout if you take care of them, and they feed the entire family. For some reason, we were not encouraged to have a connection with the land and with food. As you say, it's looked down upon. But again, and that's why one of my number one reason of going in there is to deconstruct that idea that farmers are less than. I remember when I went back, when I told a friend of mine I'm going to farm, he said, oh no, don't do that. I'm like, why not? I'll do that. And when the first time when I introduced myself to my Bali community, because they know me as a theorist, as an educator, as a how I engage in issues, global issues, they did not believe I was farming. I had to show them that I was in the farm tilling, because we have to start this the farmer is one of the most important people in the world. Health, your food is your number one medicine. What you eat is your medicine, and it has a lot to do with your health. We have to begin to know what is our foods. And as I was researching, our foods are so packed with antioxidants. Bitter leaf alone, that is a superfood that can cure anything. I mean, you think about it. It helps with insomnia. It helps with diabetes. It helps with everything. That are bitter leaf. But what do we grow up thinking of bitter leaf? I don't know. We don't like bitter leaf growing up as young children. It's only Dode that had made it kind of like sexy. But we didn't like bitter leaf soup and stuff like that. So every day, what do? I do my bitter leaf in my juice, in my omelette. At I'm putting a 2 leaf or 2 if you could, because it's so potent, and we have to find ways to incorporate that into a diet. This afternoon, I make green rice, and I just blended bitter leaf, jama and basil, and I mixed it together, and the kids are eating. We have to our foods are so potent. My grandmother lived off her land, and she lived to a ripe old age because her diet was so healthy. We have to go back to those healthy diets, and that means growing our food, connecting with land, taking care of the land. And it's interesting how when you take care of the land, it also heals your soul. There's just something about being out there gardening that just fulfills you. I remember one morning when I got up, it was about 7 o'clock. I listened to my devotional, and I'm on the farm, I'm planting. And I was wheeling my wheelbarrow to the farm. The birds were chirping. The morning dew, it was fresh. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. This is the life I always prayed for. And I put my cell phone there, and my devotional is booming, and I'm there weeding. I mean, it was like paradise, so fulfilling. So you're having exercise and meditation and taking care of the farm in one go. And I just thank him every day for his grace, every single day. Every single day. Yeah.
And it's amazing to just listen to you talk, hear you talk, and pick up the passion with which you're doing this, because I'm knowing some who like, no, Mio, I'm like, for them, that experience is if they went to Bloomingdale's and Macy's.
I know, right? I know.
That's what will do it for them.
I know.
But we all know very well that is not our essence. That is all artificial and man-made. Yes, those things have their place, but there is, as you're saying, a connection. Some of us are not that deep into the thing, but there is what you're describing. For me, the closest thing is when I go walking in the neighborhood here.
Yeah.
But there's parts where there's just the grass, there are trails.
Yeah.
It's different. And you see the ants busy going in their own little ant hill.
I know.
These birds have come. Look, I had on my front porch here this summer, mother, and there was this bird family. I tell you, I got up in the morning actually going to see them. go out to go look at them on the porch there. When Mother Bird was expecting and she was building her nest there, I opened my front door. She's like, what? Like, don't you come out here?
I know.
Ready to just peck and just destroy me whose house it is. So they
Yeah,
had a little nest there. Daddy Bird will actually come through there. They come and visit. The day they were born. And I was like, come on, see videos. The little heads there, they're all head. The little bodies. Little thing. She's going to bring worms and feed them. And I was so engrossed into the thing and just glad and thankful that it happened over the summer when I was home to just see it. Because had it been school time, pass right then and notice the thing. But I'm like, look at this whole family here. I clearly see Mommy Bird, Daddy
Bird, yeah.
That too. And walk around the place in the evening, they all come on out and perch there. So they enjoy the breeze.
I know.
You know, it is, there is something about creation.
There is something.
There's something about very different. Connect with those things. It kind of makes the other wahala fade away a little bit relegated to the background. And you see that there is more to life than all of this 9 to 5 scrambling.
Absolutely.
It stabilizes you somehow.
It does.
It grounds you somehow.
It does.
So I hear you even without.
It does. And let me even tell you how it has regulated my system. Because especially during the planting season, we would have to get up early and help planting before the sun goes out, because when the sun is out, you can't work. And so we have to get up early. And then when you get up early, you work, you're so energized. I go back and I do my other work. In the evening, we do. By 8 o'clock, you go to bed, or 9, you sleep like a baby. Dreamless sleep. Honestly, so in that way, you're taking care. I mean, there's some people.
There's no room for the insomnia. Everybody is crying about.
There's no insomnia because your whole body, you're taking care of exercise, of insomnia, and good feeding. Because to work on the land, you have to be nourished and nurtured. So it just shows when you're connected, and as you say, when we're actually doing what we're supposed to, because God gave us this earth to take care of it. And if you look at the patterns of nature, God, things grow, there are seasons, there are patterns, and we should be in tune with those seasons and patterns in our lives. Look at it, we have winter coming, we have to prepare for, and it's just like how life is. And so the farm has just really gotten me reconnected, and not only with our essence, again, as people, looking at what sustained us as a people, our grandmothers, our mothers, what did they eat? Black race, we look at African-American cuisine, how it's so similar, and how they came from the continent. They brought seeds that sustained them, how they use seeds, they braided seeds in their head. I mean, things that we're all connected through the struggle. And to be a part of that, I'm like, God, how can I be part of this, where I'm also open up a space for teaching, especially young people when they come, because our children who are born here, they have a different perspective of food, and they don't have our whole experience. They
don't even know where it comes from.
They don't know where it comes from.
When our own children first came here, at least mine first came here, they used to make them go on a visit to a farm. They used to find a visit for them to go to a farm and actually see where the pumpkins that they're doing pumpkins now for Thanksgiving, where have you seen the actual plant? You see, these days, those excursions don't even happen anymore. They really don't know where that pumpkin that they see in the store comes from originally. They will not recognize it. It's a thing to buy. For them, it's a thing to buy already done. They don't even know where a chicken, like the animal, to see it and run and store it. They just know it as chicken wings that you buy from Sissy's Pizza.
Yes. So know that,
they don't know the animal itself, which is really and
I know
it's only here. I mean, even back in Cameroon, I remember my kids born in the first time I took them down to the village. My son ran after this chicken. I think it was a toy. Because the city was there, the poor chicken was scared to pieces. That child was after the thing, running away, running to go find the thing. And so they don't even know that the chicken has a head, because they don't eat the head of the chicken. They don't understand that chickens have the first time the children even see the legs, chicken legs, which we used to eat there. They're like, ew,
I know.
Don't think that the thing even exists. Even to hear a cock crow.
Yes.
We went back to my daughter was like, she's like, did you hear that? I'm like, hear what? She says, shh, listen. I listen, and my ear, which is already trained to that,
hear
it. So she said, listen again, and we are all quiet, and the thing. So after a while, I'm like, what am I supposed to be listening to? I don't hear anything. And she says, you didn't hear that cock crow? For me, that is not a thing. It's part of the sounds that I know that you hear.
I know.
But then dawned on me, this child hasn't heard a cock crow.
I know.
So that sounded those morning sounds.
And
I've been talking about the birds that have come to my porch is because this area here, they've left some trees, they've left something still here. If you grow up in the heart of New York, there are no trees.
There's nothing.
All concrete. The less you will even know about anything to do with nature. So we have really gone far.
We've really gone far. Absolutely.
I'm so impressed.
Thank you. And one of the things, since you mentioned, like, one of the things I also want to open up this space is for disabilities. Today I was talking to, one for field trips in the future and two for disabilities. The economic development people, when they came and they heard my story, our Africanists, I mean, they were so enthralled. They said they would like to connect me with schools around here for field trips. And in the future, we're going to have, next year, we're going to have chickens and goats in the back, so that we would have that aspect as well. But I was talking to my friend who's working with adults with disabilities, and he was talking, I want to do a field trip. I was like, you can come to the farm. I mean, we can do stuff. I mean, they can do some curtain. And she said, oh, I didn't think about it. I said, yeah, because oftentimes people with disabilities, we don't think about them, and they need a space, a way where it's not just, I know they live in homes, but to a natural spot where they can just relax and do stuff, maybe working on the farm. And that's one of the things I want to do to really, because I mean, farming is, I mean, it's very easy. You can tell somebody, dig a hole, for example, for planting cocoyam, for example, dig a hole, put cocoyam, dig a hole. But it's a simple task, but it's something that would amount to, when you see what it results into, something really glorious. And for them to be part of that, to make them do something meaningful. Useful, yes. And so I'm hoping in the future, and she said, oh my goodness, Mark, I said, no, it's God. It's God, because every time I'm saying, use me to serve. Because as I was telling my kid, I could have just decided to just retire. I mean, like you, I mean, you don't need to, you have everything that you need. But to me, I'm like, how can I serve you, God? What is that need that I can stand in, and how can I serve? And I'm looking at, especially the world going crazy right now. Well, people are so disconnected from nature, from God. How can I use this space to get people reconnected to nature, to themselves, and to be of service? So that's how I also want to use this space.
You've done a fantastic job of it. You've done a fantastic job of doing all of that with this venture that is here. I can only pray right along with you that it just continues to grow from strength to strength, and that it fulfills all the plans that you fulfill all the plans that you have for it, because already, even at this beginning stage, it's already yielding not just the fruits, the actual fruits of the land, the fruits of the land is yielding the lessons, the connections,
and the relationships, the relationships, and the building when people come,
so much.
So thank you so much.
Do you have a website where people can go?
I do. Yes, I do. It's called www.esthermanorfarm.com.
One word?
Yes, one word, www.esthermanorfarm.com. And we also have a foundation. It's called the ESTHER Global Foundation. And the foundation is where we do work to serve the community. For example, this dinner is through the foundation. Field trips will be through the foundation, because we're using that as a way to serve the community. And also
the ESTHER Manor website. Can say I was a teacher who had living in the area, and I wanted to bring my kids over for an excursion there. Would I be able to go to the website and see how to connect with you, or maybe just find the number and call?
Yeah, there's a contact, info@esthermanorfarm.com. So we manage the email. We keep in touch with the emails. Yeah, so we're looking out. So if you want to contact us, yes, on the website, info@esthermanofarm.com, or my phone number. Yeah.
Perfect. And what's that phone number that you want?
510-717-9745.
Just say it one more time, a little slower.
510-717-9745.
Correct. I'll be sure to put it on the flyer that I send on out so people can see and know. Because even if somebody's listening to this, is listened to all over or watched all over the world. So I don't think somebody who is maybe in Japan can necessarily lay hands on this right there now, but they all have family in this country. What you do then is to let anybody in the DMV area then know that there's a place right there to go and get your actual
vegetables from the motherland.
Correct. Before the winter comes along, and we get them, if you've already sliced them up and actually freeze, that's what we do. Freeze them, and we're able to still continue eating what we want to eat through the months when they're not done, before the planting comes again and we harvest again. So that's what people would have to do. I would definitely make sure that if I'm on my way there, that I stop by and actually go see for myself.
That would be fantastic.
If I can make it, I'll make it. I'd like to come and just see it for myself.
Oh, please, you have to be there, ad hoc, my presidente. Oh, by the way, how could I forget? I got by.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you got to come the book. Bless you.
So you have to come and sign this book.
I'll go and autograph it for you. I do my ad hoc committee. I used to call it my ad hoc committee back in the day, because you're ready to. When she says ready to serve, that's what she means. She really means that she really does it. Takes every task seriously. That's the thing. The educator part, you always took it seriously. Being a mother and wife, take it seriously. Now being a farmer, taking it seriously. There's not anything that I know that you have set your mind to at whatever stage of your life that you haven't taken seriously and given it your all.
Amen.
Taking it seriously and giving it your all.
Amen.
PhD you got.
Amen.
No, you turned 50 after it, because I remember that 50.
I turned 50 after it. I know. I was a late PhD. In fact, I was the old. Well, no, not the oldest. I had someone who was older than me, but I came to the program where I knew exactly what I wanted, and I'm like, I'm here for 3-4 years. I mean, sometimes people want to explore. I'm like, I ain't here. I got 2 kids, so.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Some people who they've got half a kid and they're like, I'm done. I can't be doing this kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Yes, someone was married with 2 and went right back and came out there and did.
I know.
Did that. And all of these things that you've been doing, all of that traveling.
Yes.
I even heard you mention, and I glossed over it because you were in the process and you were talking, you were in mid-speech, so I just let you keep going. But I was sitting there saying, look at, start talking about going to Moscow and feeding the hungry and the homeless. I'm sure somebody sitting in Kabul listening to that and saying, people are hungry in Moscow. You see, we tend to think, yes, that's a country in Europe. How can they be hungry there? We tend to think it's just us with the poverty, with the kind of a thing. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And in fact, I would travel and I would, sometimes and I mean, the needs are so much. So I say, you know what, let me consolidate. Oftentimes when you travel different places, you're spread thin. I'm like, let me consolidate and really focus on serving my people in a way that is comprehensive. And this is one way. And Sister EGBE, I hope you come, because I'm hoping to have the congressman. In fact, I send them an invitation, and also my local government, so we can begin to have conversations. So it's not just food, but real conversations about who we are as a people. And I'm so grateful to you, I mean, who are pioneers, some people who have broken ground ahead of, with your radio show, with your Sika Pride. I mean, you created something out of nothing for us to begin to think and to showcase. I mean, these are my people. These are the people I know. It's not just the barefoot, pregnant HIV woman. These are the Black sisters.
When somebody was generation was saying to you, you are different. No, there's many of me out there. There's tons of me out there.
Exactly.
Because I get that too. Oh wow. Yes. You are always here on time. You always. I said no. That is something that does happen. I'm not saying that we don't have water, but no, we do. We don't all not take our work seriously. We don't all not do. And that's one thing that we have to remind ourselves to, that you see, those stereotypes are coming from somebody who goes and is just taking it easy. You realize that when you're doing that, these people are basing their perception of an entire race, of an entire tribe,
Absolutely.
based on what you're doing. So,
Yes.
so we too have to try to now put.
Absolutely.
Getting angry at people and say, how dare you say this about my sister? And so, are you showing them any different? As opposed
I know.
to you fit right in the stereotype. Every day,
I know.
The bell already rang 10 minutes ago. You are there.
I know.
You're coming
I know.
in there, eating this banana.
I know.
Dear. You know, so some of those things.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm applauding you for going out there and fly. Look, the embassy. I know the embassy is in GC there on Pennsylvania Avenue. God bless them and the work they're doing there. No, nobody can be a better ambassador for our country, for our race, for our tribe, than what you're doing there. That's who they see one-on-one. Out there.
Yes.
And when you come to and say, Africans, they are such lazy people, that your neighbor will say, who? No. Which Africans? Have you seen my neighbor?
Exactly. Let me tell you, when I went to the small I told you that they gave me a mentor at Small Business Administration to help me write the business plan. And so we're trying to come with a plan. Say, you know what? I don't think you belong. I don't see how you would fit in this space. I said, sir, let me tell you who I am.
You straighten yourself up and square your shoulders up and
let
increase your height a little bit.
By the time I was done, he said, I'm so humbled. You have blessed me, because I told him where I came from and what we plan to do and who my people are. I told them the pride of the African woman and how we tell societies and we continue to hold societies. I told them of the food that has sustained us and continue to sustain us. By the time I was done, that guy said, you took me to church. He said, you took me to church.
Exactly.
So, and I can imagine our collective stories to begin to complicate discourses on the Black woman. I'm just so tired of the Black women I know are powerful women who hold societies together. Who are we? And begin to showcase that through the farm, through the work that you're doing, and through the other professions. Because they, of course, when I introduce my friends, I make sure I tell I put their full title. This is my sister doctor who has a business. I make sure I present them in all their glory, just like we're supposed to be. Gone are the days where we hang our heads in pride or don't talk our language or have an accent. We will speak with that accent loud and proud and eat our food with njanga and the dry fish.
Snap. Preach. Every school year, school just started. Every school year I come, you see the one who's trying to say, I don't understand what he said. I'm like, oh, you know what? You will have, if you don't understand it, too bad. You're going to be getting the 0 by the end of this semester. Because this is how I'm going to speak. I said, I can understand you. I'm making an effort. You don't sound like me. I don't sound like you. I'm making an effort to understand you. I understand everybody just said. Listen, they're going to understand me. And I tell them, this particular school, it opened in 2007. I was here when it opened. This is year what?
I know.
And everything has been going on so smoothly. So the problem, it doesn't take them 2 seconds to realize this is who we're going to deal with. Shape up, and this is what you got.
Yes.
I'm not going to apologize for anything.
Nothing.
Right here. I know what I'm here to do. I know my fingertips.
Amen.
Certified and the whole 9
Amen.
Listen.
Amen. And that's all period.
That's it right there, my dear. No. I have nothing to apologize for.
I know.
So am I. I'm legit. I know I'm good at my job. And it doesn't take people long to see that and respect it. To see it and respect it. I had my principal come in the first day of school or the second day, and the assistant principal, you should see, I wish I had those notes here that they left on my desk before they went on out. They said, wow, you do have a passion for what you do, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. But that's it. Whatever it is that we are called to do, as you said, you go and you
do it with your whole heart. Yes. Amen to that. Amen. Thank you, Sister
So congratulations.
Thank you.
For this.
Thank you.
Whole step.
Yes.
And doing it so well, brilliantly.
Amen.
All of your success, we pray for it.
Thank you.
When you succeed, all of us
can
stand proudly and say, look at our sister over there.
And congratulations. Congratulations too. My daughter was thumping through this book today. I'm like, you know that secret that we make noise about? This is it. And she can't wait to read through it.
That is the school's history. I know when Oprah Winfrey opened her school, her girls' school in South Africa, everybody was like, oh wow. I said, that's not new. We
I
had
know.
schools like that in our own countries.
I
There's
know,
Koyom,
I
there's
know.
Lords, there's this school, that's the history of the
Yes.
school, and let us see.
Amen.
There's a chapter in it, there's a section in it that talks about people from the school where we have
Yes.
gone on to be, from
Amen.
women of the cloth, like
Yes.
pastors,
Yes.
down to members of government, teachers, all
Yes.
kinds, just to give an
Amen.
idea of how
I know.
everybody can go, one can go and excel wherever she has been called to excel. So thank you so much for proudly.
Thank you so much, Sister Ekwe.
Representing us.
Thank you.
And I wish you only the best. I'll put it on my calendar and try to come over and see for that deal, for that opening.
Yes, because it's like they will have pictures for Sika Pride. You know that's my publication. You know Sika Pride is my publication. So we have on that day we have to flood it with pictures from the event.
Yes, we have to make that, put it out there and make farming. Bring, you know how what is his name again? Justin Timberlake said, bringing sexy back, bringing farming, sexy farming back, making it the thing.
Thank you so much, Sister.
All right, my dear.
It was such a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much, my doc. You are
Thank
awesome.
you.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'm wishing you only the very best.
You.
Okay then.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.